So, hello everybody, it's Local Joe. As you know, I've been talking about doing some interviews with different people, older people that have some experience with life, and we're going to talk today. I'm going to start out with my first person, who is my grandfather also, Salvatore Rubbo, and he's going to talk to us today about his life growing up and whatever he wants to, basically. So, uh, Gramps, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing just fine for 91.
Right. So yeah, he's 91 years old. And why don't you?
Born July 18th, 1932, in New York City, the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Uh, Known well to everybody in the United States as a Bowery boy.
And why don't you show him your shirt too? You were just showing me.
Yep, I was showing Joey my shirt. It says Rubbo, uh,
American made.
American made, uh, with the finest Italian parts. Anyway, my mom had 15 children. I'm number 13. I had
Lucky 13.
an older brother and sister on one side and a younger brother and sister on the other side. Uh, and
Can you name them all?
and my wife just asked me if I can name them all. Not really, not anymore.
Well, it probably doesn't help that you've had how many. You can't even tell you how many great grandchildren now. You're up to
Oh,
great grandchildren. So
Right.
we've got quite a
I've had
family.
so many great grandchildren that I've lost track of them all. Uh, but anyway, I was born and raised in New York City. Uh, I was born in a tenement house a half block off the Bowery in New York.
What is
And
the Bowery? So for people that might
the
not know.
Bowery is 3rd Avenue in New York. It runs north and south through Manhattan, and it's a famous street because it was the Skid Row of New York City. Uh,
Probably
and
not anymore, huh?
Yeah, it still is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Still is. Uh, and it was a kind of a tough neighborhood to grow up in. Uh,
Was it mostly an Italian neighborhood, or what kind of a neighborhood was it? Or
mostly Italian, but it was Italian, Irish, English, uh,
Jewish.
Hispanic.
a mixing
Uh,
pot, kind of like New York City?
Pardon?
A mixing pot like New York City,
Oh,
with all different
definitely,
kinds of.
definitely New York is a mixing pot, and so is my family. I've got everything from uh, religions, uh, from Jewish to Catholics, to Protestants. Uh,
And even you through your life switched religions at one time, right?
yeah,
So you've been
yeah,
numerous religions on your own.
yeah.
He's been into every religion, he said. He's got them all covered.
But yeah, as far as religions are concerned, uh, I've been baptized in the Roman Catholic Church, baptized in Presbyterian Church, baptized in a Baptist church, uh, and I was even circumcised at a later age in my life.
But
So
not
I've got all
Jewish.
the bases covered just in case I die. I know where I'm going.
Right.
New Hope.
So,
But I'm presently 91 years old, and the best part is I've had a good life. I've had a good life. I've got my wife sitting beside me here, and we're going on our 50th wedding anniversary.
This year.
So that's that's a big event for us.
yeah.
It is.
Uh,
And you had one of the things I know you've always been proud of is your successful career as a carpenter.
Right.
Right.
Uh, when I was young, you used to actually answer the phone, Sal the carpenter, and
Yep.
we always used to think that
My
was kind of funny when I was a kid because to us that was just great. But
yeah, my dad was a carpenter by trade, and I grew up wanting to follow in his footsteps. And
Tell her about
when I was 18 years old, I was learning carpentry in high school, and I spent a whole year making a cabinet with
slide out drawers.
a drawer and a door and raised panel, and everything was made by hand. Uh, and it took a year to make it, and I was so proud of it I couldn't wait to get home and tell my father what I had accomplished. And he looked at it and said to me, "What's the matter? You think I'm can't do that?"
well, that probably meant he was proud of you, huh?
that was that
He
was a
was
big
proud.
big
Yeah.
letdown to
But he didn't
to
Right,
say
a
but
that.
it was hard for you to
to a
understand
young
at the time.
carpenter that was trying to show his dad that he was following in his trade.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm sure he was.
It sounds like
But
from just some of the stories I've heard that maybe your
yeah,
dad didn't have a good,
but we had a
wasn't had a
good
hard
life.
time telling it, showing his love to you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
expressing
Anyway,
it.
that was true.
I would say that my life really began at the age of 9 years old, because prior to that, I was just a baby, and there's nothing significant that I could mention. But at the age of 9 years old, and this is important, one of my older brothers came to me with a brand new shoe shine box that he had made, and he put all the supplies in it, brushes and polishes and uh, such as that. And he gave me some advice, and I'm 91, 91 years old now, and I never let a day go by that I don't reflect on this advice. He says, "Salvatore, anytime you need money for something," he says, "you take this chair," and it was a wooden folding chair, and the shoe shine box. And he says, "you take this chair and the shoe shine box, and you go out on a street corner and set it up and uh, earn a living with it." And he said, "if there's anything you need, you shine shoes and save the money until you can get what it is you need. And if you can't earn enough money to get it, you really didn't need it that bad."
Okay.
And I've lived with that all my life, and I've had a reasonably successful life, because I always was able to go out in one way or another to earn a living and to take care of my responsibilities. I got a wife of 50 years now that
Loves the ground
took
you
care
walk on.
took care of all of the bills, and all I had to do was go out and work my butt off to make the money, bring it home, put in the bank what was necessary to pay the bills, and we got along fine with it. So that worked for me.
Well, that explains your hard work ethic that you've always had. So that's one
Yep,
of the things you've always instilled in me
yep.
and everybody that you come across. So,
But mostly the love for my family and the appreciation for what they did to help me in life.
And you
Uh,
to help them. You helped them a lot.
yeah, I think you've always given more than
As
you've taken for
Sharon
sure.
and Donna and Randy,
And
Todd
me,
and
you guys have
Terry
helped me. I came and lived
and
here when I
Joey.
needed to a couple
Right.
times, so I've
but
always
generally,
appreciated that.
it's been a good life. Uh, all these years.
So let's talk about. So you used to shine shoes. That's the story I've heard lots of times about you shining shoes and stuff. So that was your first job. You were 9. You said when you
Right.
started doing that.
I started at the age of 9 years old to shine shoes. Uh, I got a job in a grocery store down the street, uh,
Delivering
and
groceries.
uh, I would stock the shelves in the grocery store, and
How old were you then?
I was still 9 years
Oh,
old.
still 9. Okay.
Yeah. I stocked the shelves in the grocery store. I delivered groceries to people that would come in and shop their groceries. They would tell the proprietor of the store, "Can you deliver them for me?" And I lived 2 blocks away on the third floor, and I carried groceries all the way to their apartment and carry it up the stairs and put it on their kitchen table. And of course, they gave me tips
Right.
for having done that, and to show their appreciation.
Were you paid by the
And
store owner too? So you were getting double
pardon?
paid? Did you get paid by the store owner too, or just the tips was all you earned?
I don't remember having gotten any money from the store owner.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I beg your pardon. I think he gave me a nickel a delivery, just in case I was delivering it to somebody
That didn't tip you.
that didn't tip. But
Imagine nowadays.
for the most part, people were generous, and they gave tips.
Right.
But at 9 years old, here I was working in a grocery store, delivering groceries. When there was no deliveries to make and the shelves were stocked, the proprietor would say, "Make yourself a sandwich out of the deli case," and I'd always have a good sandwich, so I ate good.
Right.
And then he'd say, you can take your shoe shine box out front and shine shoes. And I might be shining a pair of shoes on somebody who sat in the chair. I would open up the folding chair in front of the grocery store, and the person would sit down. I would shine their shoes, and if uh, I had some groceries to deliver, the proprietor of the store would come out and say, "When you're done with that shine, you got a delivery to make." And so I was shining shoes and delivering groceries and making money that way. And at the end of the summer, before I went back to school, uh, I had earned enough money and brought it home, and my mother would uh, put it aside. She bought 2 brand new coats with zippers in the front and hoods on them. And boy, I thought I was looking good. But she got 2 of them, one for me and one for my younger brother.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
that
at
worked.
the time, I didn't understand why I was working all summer long to earn this money, and my little brother got a new coat too.
Right.
So, but I soon learned that that was the way of life, and what Mom had to do to make $1 to go along the way.
Right.
She was a good mom. Tell them about the castor oil you used to have to take.
About the what?
Castor oil.
Oh, castor oil.
Is that
Well,
that would be a
was
punishment, right?
just
No,
that was.
Oh, that was just
one of the things
keep
that,
you healthy.
that she did as a
my mother
mom.
did to keep us healthy. She had a big bottle of castor oil. Not the castor oil, it was cod liver oil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And when we were going to school in the morning, she would stand at the door with this bottle of cod liver oil and give us each a tablespoon of it. going out the door.
Went to school smelling like
And,
fish.
it helped keep us healthy. And if any of us got sick, she'd put a sign on the door saying quarantine. That meant nobody outside the door came in and nobody inside went out.
Right.
And she'd make a big pot of chicken noodle soup. And if you were so sick that you couldn't eat, you could always sip some soup. So she kept us pretty healthy that way. But one of the big highlights was at the age of 9 years old, out of 15 children, my 3 oldest brothers all went into the military to fight the Second World War. And one of them went all the way up through Europe, I should say through Italy, into Germany. And he was wounded twice and got 2 Purple Hearts. And then when my brothers came home from the military after the Second World War, I was growing up to the age where I was going to be called into the Army, and I I ended up in Korea for 2-year stretch, but 15 months of it was on the 38th parallel, which is the separation between North and South Korea. And I was held the ground there. And at the age of 21, I was on the front line. The war was still going on, and I was asking myself, what are you doing here in a strange land where you can't even speak these people's language?
And they won't fight for themselves. They wouldn't.
And all they could say is, you number 1 GI, or you number 10 GI. So that was the difference between good and bad. But
What was your job in the military?
my job in the military,
Yep, a grunt.
keeping you youngsters alive
Right.
back here in the United States.
Okay.
You didn't tell about your job at the barber shop.
Oh, when I was in my teens, still going to school, I worked after school in the barber shop 6 days a week, all day Saturday.
Cleaning
And
spittoons.
I would earn my money by tending to the customers. We had 8 barber chairs and 8 spittoons. They called them Castor. They were white porcelain, and I would have to wash them every night and empty them and wash them and put fresh water
No
in them
wonder he has
for
such
the
good
next day.
immunity.
But where I used to earn my money there was that when a person who came in for a shave or a haircut or both was attended to by the barber, when they got off the chair, I would take a whisk broom and brush them down from head to toe, and then I would hold their suit jacket and brush them a second time. And if it was winter time and they had an overcoat, I held their overcoat and brushed them down again. And of course, they would give me tips for this kind of a service. And all of those tips went into a little tin box that I kept. I called it the witch hazel case, which was a glass case that had the cash register on top of it, and people would check out at that point, and I had my little tin box in there where I put all my tips, and I always had money.
And his
And
sister, Olive, used to borrow money for Mom, right?
yep. And if one of my brothers or sisters needed money for something, they always came down to Sal at the barber shop and said, "Hey, could you loan me money for this, that, or the other thing?"
Did they
And I
pay back?
always had it on hand to loan.
Did they pay you back?
So my wife says, "Did they pay you back?" Well, when I was 16, in the barber shop, uh, my older brother came in and borrowed $25 from me, which was a lot of money in those days. And he went around the corner to a bicycle shop that used to rent bicycles, but the proprietor used to buy the parts and put together his own bikes, make them. And they sold for about $25. And of course, my brother borrowed the money from me and went and bought me the bicycle. And that was my birthday present. I never would have gone out and spent $25 on myself. But I guess he knew that. He never paid me the money back.
So,
But I had a bicycle for years there.
Did you make some money off that bike? Probably in the end, huh?
yeah, helped you out.
Yeah.
Tell him about the jelly paddle.
Okay. If we were playing in the street, we were supposed to come home before dark, and my mother said, "You make sure you're home before dark." And one evening, I was playing hide and seek with my friends, and you'd hide behind cars and in doorways.
And no trees in New York, you know.
And it was getting dark, and we were having too much fun, so we kept playing until I looked down the street and I saw my mother coming down the street with this wooden jelly paddle that my dad had made her for stirring spaghetti or whatever she was cooking. But we called it the jelly paddle. And when I saw her coming down the street, I knew what the end result would be.
A sore butt.
So she took me home and gave me a little spanking with the jelly paddle that I never forgot. So
You weren't late anymore.
Yeah, you were on time after that, right?
Right.
But that's how we learned our rules and regulations.
Right.
You're home before dark or you get a paddling.
Right.
Right.
And you learned because I know I was gonna be here to pick you up last week, and you told me you'd rather be a half hour early than 1 minute late. So
Yeah.
Right.
so I know you learned that lesson.
Uh,
Yeah.
And he passed it
in
on to
addition
you,
to
Joe.
that, while the Second World War was going on, which was a period in my life from nine years old to 13 years old, I used to collect newspapers and tin cans and cigarette wrappers
They had silver
for the
and
scrap
glove
drive.
wrappers.
And when I say collect, I used to go into the tenement houses one after another, and I would yell from the bottom floor.
He's got fully developed lungs from
Paper boy for the scrap drive, and I would hear doors closing as I went up the 5 flights of stairs, because most of these tenement houses were 5-story buildings, no elevators, and I would go up to the top floor, and then on the way down, people would open their door and drop a pack of paper that was already saved and tied with string,
Right.
and maybe a cardboard box that was
That's how we won the
filled
war,
with tin cans
the Second World
and
War, because of all of us in America
and
saved those silver things.
cigarette wrappers that we picked up on the street. We'd go out on the street with a empty paper bag and bring it home full of cigarette wrappers that we picked up on the street. And when you peeled the cigarette wrapper, there was always this tin foil that we would take out of it. And on any given night, we'd be sitting around the kitchen table, dumping a bag of cigarette wrappers and peeling the silver off and making these silver balls, some of which weighed 5 or 10 pounds when we got through making them.
Right.
And we would take all of this stuff to the scrap drive, and I had a wagon that I made myself, and we would carry the papers on it, several hundred pounds of paper, and for every 100 pounds of paper, we got a free ticket to the local movie.
Nice.
So every Saturday, I was able to take the whole family of kids to the movies.
Hello?